You guys doing? All right, start with the injury report. Start with Tyron. Tyron's got a vet day like he's taken this last couple weeks. Michael Carter, he will not practice today. Had a little hamstring that ultimately became a back. So he's going to gather some more information today, give you guys information when I figure it out. But he's eager to play and try to work through it, so we'll see. Aaron is he's going to be limited today, as he's been on most Wednesdays. This being a Wednesday, that's a Thursday. Same ankle, a little bit of the hamstring, limited in practice, but no thoughts of any time he'll miss on Monday night. Conk's he's going to be limited as well. He's got a bit of a hip. CJ's got his toe that he keeps working with. We're gonna rev up CJ a little bit today as far as the volume that he gets, in practice, and see how that feels for him. Obviously, a guy that we'd love to have back, especially for Monday night. Morgan has the knee, on track to play, fired up. What an amazing guy Morgan is. He brings so much juice, energy, culture beyond just the player that he is. So fired up that he's going to be back with us. And then Lakey, he's the last one. Very hopeful that he'll get his first opportunity to play for us this Monday night. Super excited about what he brings to the table. So he's still working through that hamstring. We'll see how the week goes. All right. Regarding the staff, after a lot of time to think about it and did not make this decision easily by any means, I'm going to make Todd Downing the play caller for the New York Jets going forward. And this is more a byproduct of a different take on things. I'm not saying it's a better or worse take on things by any means, but just a different take on things, a fresh approach. So ultimately, Todd will have the full say on the game plan and ultimately the plays that are called within the game. Saying that as well, just another testament to the human being that Nathaniel Hackett is. The fact that he's going to give us everything in his body and heart and soul, and he's going to continue to be a big part of the success we're going to have going forward from an offensive perspective. And I feel so fortunate that he's staying with us. Here's a guy that's been a head coach in this league and willing to draw cards, willing to do whatever it takes. So the true heart of a servant. I feel so fortunate that he's on our staff, that he's in our lives, and I can't speak enough good things about him. From the defensive perspective, I will maintain the title of defense coordinator, and I will maintain the play calling duties. So, saying that, we're moving on to the Bills. It is time. It is time we get this thing going. Start playing the brand of football we know we're capable of. So the entirety of our focus is now on the Buffalo Bills.
Are any titles changed?
No titles will change. Just duties. That's it.
How will Hackett's just day-to-day operations change, if any at all?
As far as the final say on the game plan and as far as calling the plays will probably be the only thing that really changes, and maybe a little bit less in front of the room, obviously with Todd assuming that role now. So he's still going to be a huge contributor to everything we do on offense.
Jeff, you had said that you would consult with Aaron on offensive changes. What was the reaction to this change in the play calling?
It was obviously not necessarily a shock, but we all are familiar with the relationship he has with Nathaniel, and they're very, very good friends that go back a long way. So he understood the decision and he was supportive of the decision, and I'm fortunate for that. So I talked to him. I talked to a lot of different offensive players and defensive players for that matter before making this decision.
You talked about just maintaining the play calling defensively, but I assume you'll have some help from some other people as far as game planning throughout the course of the week.
Oh, there's no doubt. I'm so fortunate to have Mike Rutenberg, Rudy, and Marquand, and Tony Oden, and Aaron Whitecotton, and RD, and Scruggs, and Shaq, and Nathaniel, all of them. They do an amazing job, even before this transition occurred. They are the best in the business, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm going to lean on them even more now.
Jeff, how much are you going to involve yourself with the offense? I know you are. I know you're doing the play calling on defense still, but obviously you're overseeing everything as well.
Right. No, I definitely want to have an influence there as well. So I'm gonna really look hard at this week on how I can find those places to infuse my personality into that side of the ball. from a strategic or from a schematic standpoint, I don't know if there'll be a ton of input, but as far as style of play, absolutely. You know, the way this thing looks on Monday night, I'm hopeful that I can infuse that into them.
Is there something about Todd's either background with Tennessee, I'm sure he probably went against it
Without a doubt.
when he was with Tennessee, or since he's been here, about his play calling style or particular strength that appealed to you while making that decision?
Yeah, I've always had a ton of respect for Todd. Schematically, like, I'm always looking at a guy like that as that's a small piece of the puzzle for me. It really is the style of play, which that group, what do they embody? Like the casual fan that's watching the game, what do they walk away saying about that offense? And for every Tennessee offense that I ever went against when Todd was the play caller there, they were tough, they were ruthless, they finished, they ran the ball, they played on their terms. And there was there's definitely a style that appealed to me in that way.
You guys spend so much time in the offseason building this, right, and doing installs and all that stuff. How much fundamentally can the offense change midstream here?
I think it's probably more the way the call it and how you call it, the sequencing, the coupling up of plays and formations, and there's some things that you can do from differently. You know, now ultimately we gotta execute better, and we gotta. Man, you made me nervous right there. I thought that was my phone. That's like the ex-player in me. Like, there's the phone. There's my fine. You know, yeah, so you're right. There's not going to be this wholesale change necessarily schematically. How the game is called will be a little bit different.
But Jeff, what needs to change on that? It's like, what, you know, you were always focused on the defense. Now that
Without a doubt.
I guess the last couple of days you've really been deep diving into the offense. What needs to change?
We got to be assertive. We got to play with confidence. We got to run off the ball. We got to play on our terms. Can't be afraid of mistakes and half stepping. We got to play this game on our terms. And I'm very confident we're going to see that Monday night.
Jeff, with the big picture, you know, obviously you're focused on this week, but for you, how do you look at this opportunity? Is this just the start? Is this even, you know, building something maybe beyond this week, this season, moving forward?
Yeah, my connection with this locker room, obviously probably a little bit more as of today with the defensive side of the ball, but I hope to really develop deep and strong relationships with the entire locker room, more so than I have to this point. You know, and ultimately I want the best for this group of men. It's just rare that you find the character of this locker room and the human beings that we have in there. They deserve to have success. And that is my singular focus right now, helping them have the most success, both individually and collectively.
Jeff, have you had any chance to kind of reflect on this opportunity for yourself?
No. No, not yet. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, a little bit of a tornado, but it's exciting at the same time.
Have you spoken to guys like Dan Quinn and, you know,
Oh, without a
over
doubt.
the last couple of days,
Absolutely.
what it takes,
Yeah,
you know.
Dan's been a great resource for me always. You know, so is Matt LaFleur, Raheem Morris, and I have spoke at length. The beauty of Ra is not only is he one of my best friends on this earth, but he's been through this as far as an interim was concerned, and gave me a lot of advice regarding that. But I'm very fortunate to have a lot of like current head coaches that have a deep understanding of what this position looks like, feels like, and what's necessary to be successful in it.
Yeah, both you and the players that talked yesterday were using the word accountability a lot. Like, what does that look like to you going forward? Like, what do you want to see when you say we need accountability?
Well, there's an unwavering standard.
Yeah.
This is the expectation, and you're either meeting it or you're not. You know, and it's not an emotional thing. You know, so every human in this building, that's player and coach. That's not just players. That's players and coaches are going to be held to that standard.
What is the temperature in the locker room right now after obviously everything that's happened, and what is the maybe unique challenge of this week getting them ready to play for Monday night?
As far as the temperature of the locker room, you'd have to ask them. You know, I think it's so fresh. You know, I got maybe a small sense of where they're at from the team meeting, but the more that I'm around them this week, practice, meetings, the whole deal, I'll have a better feel for that. You know, and then now it's just turning the page. You know, there definitely is an element of mourning, and ultimately, Robert's firing is on all of us. You know, and I think we have a collective group, both players and coaches like that, are pointing the fingers at ourselves, and we were part of that, and we fell short in whatever way we fell short, and we got to remedy that, and we got to remedy it now, Monday night.
How would you describe your coaching style?
Again, I never watch press conferences, but I watched the other one when I did this, and I was disappointed in myself that I even answered, honestly, that question. Like, I would prefer you ask players, I prefer you ask other coaches on who I am as a coach. I think that's the only true, honest answer you can get. I can say whatever I want to say, I prefer you ask others.
Well, he made it very clear on Tuesday that he has high expectations for this team. He called it probably his best roster in 25 years. So you're stepping into that situation with such high expectations. I mean, how much pressure do you feel to get this team to where he wants it to be?
In all honesty, regardless of what the roster looks like on paper, it doesn't change the way I approach it. It doesn't. And I know that sounds like coach talk, and that sounds like what everybody would say, but that is my truth. I approach every day the same, regardless of circumstance. The same human being every single day, and commit to a process and let the process take care of the results.
One specific issue you guys have had dating back to last year has been penalties and pre-snap, not only pre-snap, but a lot of penalties. How do you go about addressing that, because it's been a recurring thing?
Yeah, the penalties, the aggressive penalties that occur within a game, we can live with those, because we're gonna teach and we're gonna encourage a violent brand of football. We are. Saying that, the pre-snap stuff, the focus stuff, the offsides, the false starts, the legal shifts, legal formations, that's unacceptable. So it's got to go away, and it's not good enough. And if you see it, it's not good enough.
How do you get this team to start faster?
In everything that we do. So that starts with the way we meet, making sure that you're seated and you're ready to rock and roll. You got a notebook out, you got a pencil. The way we do walkthroughs, the volume in our voices, the body language. We got to start doing everything with a different sense of urgency, a heightened sense of urgency. And then it just becomes who you are. It becomes part of your DNA. It's not something I think about, I got to start fast. I started everything I do fast. So the game will start fast.
How involved, you have so much going on right now, everything's changed, how involved will you be with the offense?
I'm going to find my spaces. As this week goes along, I'm excited about that opportunity to really get over there and spend as much time as I can with them. So as I really figure out this new set of responsibilities and scheduling, I'm going to find my spots over there.
When you spoke to those other coaches who have been through situations like this, was there one underlying skills or personality trait that interim head coaches need to have?
Well, the biggest thing that I got from not just them but everybody, I got a lot of texts. I'm a very private person in a lot of ways, and sometimes about 1,000 people found my phone number. But just be me. Just be me.
Jeff, about Hackett, you mentioned that you're happy that he's still here.
Absolutely.
Was there conversations of him no longer being here after he had...
I never had those conversations.
Never.
That was never even a thought that crossed my mind.
Reaction?
It's hard, this is a coach that's coached this game at a high level for a long time, and like I said, he's been a head coach in this. He was so good as an assistant, he became a head coach, and that's hard to do. There's 32 of these things in the world, so he knows how to call a game. He knows how to be an offense coordinator in this league, So for him to be told that's hard. It's really hard. But just what an amazing demonstration of the human being that he is. The fact that after being told that, it was like, I got your back. For him to say that to me, I got Todd's back. I got this team's back. I got this staff's back. And I'm going to give you everything I got, even in this different role. I'm going to give you all, and I absolutely believe it, and I know it. And again, just amazed by the heart of a servant that he has.
Can you speak to the challenge at hand with the Bills?
Yeah.
What are you seeing from them that's different than in the past?
As I've already stated, I'm going to get more and more involved with the other side of the ball as we get going here. Speaking from a defensive perspective, they're a different outfit. They're maybe a little bit less passing game than they've had in the past. Without Diggs, etc. And it really feels like a new, fresh commitment to the run game. Like they want to be physical. They want to run the ball. They want to control the clock. They want to protect the ball. So it's a different Buffalo Bills team than we faced as the last 2 years, 3 years, and so we got to come ready to rock and roll, especially from a physicality standpoint, especially from the standpoint of stopping the run game, and then And then as we all know, when he passes the ball, yeah, his arm is a major weapon, but his legs are as well. So, containing Josh is going to be a big part of this.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, sir.